Welcome back, fam. We're on day 24. Another journaling day. Like I stated, the next 3 days, today and the next two, will be journaling. Today is a very simple one, but it's going to be one that requires a lot of courage. It's going to be one that requires you to step forward into your greatness. It's going to be one that can be hard to do. You have to identify your fears. What is it that you fear? What is it that you run from? And don't be one of the liars in this life. And what do I mean by that? Saying I don't fear anything. Look, if you didn't fear anything, you'd be exactly where you'd want to be, right? Just being honest with you. If you didn't fear anything, you'd be exactly where you wanted to be. And sometimes our fear cloaks itself as confidence. Sometimes our fear cloaks itself as esteem. Sometimes fear cloaks itself as synchronicities. Oh, that I got that it's closed, so maybe I wasn't supposed to go. I'm running late. Maybe I was supposed to go. Get crystal clear on your fears. What are you running from? Right? What what frightens you about giving up your current life? Because that's the only difference between where you are now and where you want to be. It's your fears. So what is it that you really fear, right? What is it that is causing you to not want to let go? What is it that frightens you if you walk through that door of success? What is it that frightens you if you became the highest version of yourself? What are you avoiding? What are you really avoiding, family? This is something that has to be addressed. It's something that has to be answered. Take the day and really sit with those things. And you'll realize if you're honest with yourself, sometimes some of the things that we fear, it's not that we're actually afraid of the thing. We're afraid of fear. We don't want to feel fear because last time we felt fear, it was uncomfortable. We felt that our world was closing in and caving in on us. But look, fear is just a thought. Fear is just a thought, and thoughts are fleeting. They're not here forever, and fear is not here forever. There's a very distinct difference, family, and this is the issue most people have too. Danger and fear are two different things, right? Danger is the reality that you can experience pain, you can experience discomfort, you can experience something that can cause you to not exist in this reality, death, right? But fear is something totally different. Fear is a thought about the longevity, typically, of pain or danger, right? Fear sometimes is oftentimes trying to avoid danger. And in order for you to live the most fullest life, you can't avoid danger. You have to go towards danger, right? Because it's dangerous to be bold, it's dangerous to speak out, it's dangerous to not necessarily have security. As an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily have security at any point in time. Your whole organization could fall apart. That scares a lot of people. In fact, I know I'm aware of that danger. Am I fearful of it? No, not anymore. Why? Well, it's simple. I don't focus on what could go wrong. I focus on what will go right. I know that I'm capable. That's the idea of this journaling day. Write down your fears. Write them down. Get to the root of really why this bothers you, why this holds you hostage. Right? And you'll start seeing things about yourself. Maybe you're an anxious person. Everything gets addressed with more whys. Why are you anxious? And please spare yourself the confusion by just saying, I don't know. Think. When did the anxiety start? What happened the first time you felt anxious? Did you have a traumatic experience? It doesn't have to just be anxiety, it could be anything, family, but you have to get to the root of your fears. You have to get to the root of what's holding you back. You have to look it in the eyes and say, I see you. Because oftentimes your fears is your shadow self, and your shadow self hides in the dark because it doesn't want to be seen. Because your shadow self is really the repressed parts of you. Your fears are really, hmm, hmm. I want to articulate it the correct way, so I'll go back to it. But you have an inner power, an inner voice, an inner child that is seeking to be expressed. It wants to be it wants to be seen, right? Typically, your fear is not being worthy or not being valued, not being good enough. Your fear is oftentimes your inner child projecting its insecurities aloud. If I show myself, if I show up, if I commit, if I'm dedicated, if I express, I won't be accepted. And that's a fear that a lot of humans have on a deep level, fear of acceptance, because we all want to belong somewhere. Or it's fear of death. If I do this, I won't be able to survive, right? There is something called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I implore you all to go check it out. But essentially, these are the motivating factors behind why people do certain things, and your fear could be related to one of these factors. So I'm gonna just lay it out for you, and I implore you to go check it out. But on the lowest level is your physiological needs. Then it's your safety needs. Then it's I think it's your relational needs. Then it's your esteem, and then it's actualization. So on this physiological level, it's your body, right? So I need food and water and things that allow my body to run, right? That's the base need that most people have. Then the second level up is safety, right? So community, a house, people. And I won't say people just yet, but things that allow you to stay safe externally. And then there's a third level, which is relationship needs, right? So we feel the need to connect, to experience love, to, as DMX says, to be somebody's baby. Right, so we have the need to be in a community, in some kind of environment. Number four is esteem needs, right? So we feel that we should be at a highest potential, or better than where we are right now. Like, we basically have the need to perpetuate into growth. And the last need is self-actualization. So we feel the need to want to be our highest self, right? So the difference between wanting to grow and be our highest self. But those are the typical motivating factors behind why you do what you do. And I would implore you to begin seeing your fears and realizing what your fear is trying to help you with, right? So your fears really almost help you. They hinder you because typically they're not grounded in logic sometimes, or in reality. And it's not saying you're illogical or you're irrational, but when you let fear take control, you can act in those ways. But fear is typically attempting to avoid a loss of one of those things, right? So we'll say right now, you, as a child, you don't have any way to bring in money and things of that nature, right? So you may not express yourself because you feel like if you express yourself, your parents might take away food and water, right? Or as you go up, right, you may feel that you don't express yourself to your boss because your boss will fire you and you'll lose your money, so you wouldn't be able to pay rent, right? So your safety needs is cut off. Or you may not want to express yourself because you'll feel that when you're in a communal environment, people won't accept you and they'll reject you from the tribe, and so you'll be outcasted, and your fear is trying to save you from being rejected and not being part of a community. Or your fear might be telling you, don't express yourself because everything needs to be perfect, so it wants you to keep growing, essentially, or for you to be able to experience yourself as growing. And so your fear is trying to protect you from defeating, or really kind of attacking your own esteem, even though the fear is attacking the esteem itself. um, Self-actualization is something that fear actually does not attack. Strangely, it's a different type of need, right? But when your esteem is not intact, your actualization desires won't be intact as well. So it gets attacked indirectly, but not directly. But I gave you all that so you can see. You have to list your fears and see what it's really trying to save you from, what it's really trying to keep in your life and family. Remember, you have to let go of things. This is the hard part. This is what a lot of people fear: letting go, right? Making the wrong decisions, making bad mistakes. Look, family, everything is either you're right or you learn. There is no wrong. Either you're right or you learn, and that's the key to life. If you're not learning, then you're gonna be repeating, right? So either you're right or you're learning. If you're not learning, you're repeating. So you're gonna go through that simple cycle, one of three things: right, learn, repeat. Right, learn, and repeat. So right, what do you want to do? You want to repeat, you want to learn, or you want to be right? All right, most of us want to be right, and I won't say want to be right as a foundational motivating factor, but I will say our desire for truth should be the motivating factor, right? So it's either you're right because you followed truth, or you learned, or you're repeating right now because you didn't learn. So family, go through this process, write down your fears, Figure out what you're really, why that fear is solid, why that fear is valid in your psyche right now. And then I want you to just figure out another way to get to that outcome. Start mapping out plans to get to that outcome that your fear is trying to get you to not embrace. Peace.